Noise reduction is something that we all do. In this video I will compare Topaz DeNoise AI against DxO Photolab 4. Which one is better for noise reduction? Hi there, my name is Peter Forsgård and I am an Olympus visionary and a professional photographer from Helsinki, Finland. And before we start talking about the noise reduction with these two softwares, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit that bell so you get notified when there is a new video online. My channel is all about you getting to be a better photographer and of course about Olympus gear and this time noise reduction. I have these 9 images that I'm going to test the softwares with. There are some images that have a lot of negative space and a lot of space where there's a lot of noise. Then there is an image there from Dubai, Old Town Dubai, which has a lot of details. Then there is a bird image. Then there is a image from downtown Helsinki that was just made a couple of days ago with the Mitacon 17mm f/0.95 lens. And they have different ISOs. To use the noise reduction, there's always the problem that too excessive noise reduction will break the image. It will look horrible, it will look plasticky, and it doesn't really look that good. So which of these two softwares can do a better job reducing your noise but still keep the image natural looking? And of course, with both of these softwares you can overdo it. So always be careful when adjusting the noise. But let's start with this image that I took a few years ago in downtown Helsinki. It's the statue of our national poet Johan Ludvig Runeberg, who has, for example, written the lyrics to our national anthem called Maamme in Finnish, Our Land, if you want to translate it to English. But let's look how DeNoise AI from Topaz can handle this image. Okay, here we have the image in DeNoise AI. This image is not retouched at all. It's the way it came out of camera. The only thing I did, I reduced the color noise reduction in Lightroom to 0 because it automatically does that. So, and then I exported it as DNG so it opens up in both the Topaz DeNoise and the DxO Photolab 4. I could have used both of these softwares as a plugin for Lightroom, but I decided to do it this way this time. But let's see how DeNoise AI from Topaz can handle this image. As you can see, there is lots and lots of negative space on this image. Let's see if we can use the low light first, because it was done in low light. And I have the auto update preview turned off, so I need to press the update. And now we have 15 and 15, and then recover original detail is 0 and color noise reduction is 0. Let's see what it does with these default settings. As you can see, it takes a while, and yeah, it looks pretty good, but I think this one is too much noise reduction on this statue itself. But this one looks really nice, and there is a mask option that I could mask out the statue, which might make it a bit better. But let's see if we try the auto, and as you can see, the amount changed a bit. And let's see if we press the update again. And as you can see, it takes a little while to generate the preview of this. Okay, now we're done. And I think it did a bit better job because it enhanced sharpness a bit more. And now I think it's not that bad. So let's save this image. And here we have the same image open in DxO Photolab 4. Let's try the DeNoise. First, you can see there is 3 different levers. You got the high quality, plus prime, and then you have the newest AI-driven DeepPrime. Let's turn it on first and see. It's one thing that it does, it's a lot faster. And to be honest, the high Q looks a bit better. There are some texture here, and the noise is quite nicely gone from this part of the image. And then let's try Prime Plus and see how it does. I think it's done very well. And let's see DeepPrime. As you can see, it's a lot faster. And I think this is a bit more natural, but we need to check these images side by side in Lightroom. And here are the 3 different versions of the same image. In the top right corner is the original. On the left corner we have the Topaz DeNoise AI, and at the bottom is the DxO Photolab 4 version of this. And clearly we can see from this that the DxO Photolab 4 makes it a bit darker. And I did check from the DxO Photolab 4 that I did not have anything else on that would affect the image darkness. It will make the image a bit darker, and Topaz DeNoise AI makes it a bit brighter. When we look at those images like this, I would say that DxO Photolab 4 is the best image. But let's see if we compare them side by side and a bit bigger. And here we have the images side by side, and when we compare them, we can clearly see that the difference in noise reduction isn't that much. This area here is a lot better on the DxO Photolab 4. But if we look at the face here, this might be a bit sharper than this. This is a bit plasticky with the DeepPrime on this particular image. And remember, this one was the night shot or the low light version of noise reduction. But I would say that this is pretty close to a tie. So let's look what happens with the next images. As you probably saw and realized from those samples that the DxO Photolab 4 is a lot better for image editing than Topaz DeNoise AI. But of course, we have to remember that the DxO Photolab 4 does some things automatically, because I tried to turn every possible image editing thing off from DxO Photolab 4, but it still seems to do something. It might be the automatic correction or the lens correction that it does, and the Topaz DeNoise does not do that at all. So the images are a bit more dull looking. But if we look at the bird photograph, for example, the details in the feathers are a lot, or there are more details in the feathers of this seagull than there is with Topaz DeNoise AI. And then you might wonder, what is this image? Yeah, this one is taken from a trip to Scotland a couple of years ago. I went early morning photographing the scene, and I had ISO 3200 and underexposed it. Maybe I was, just woken up and I was a little, off the place. But I put it there because that's a very good example of how hard the image editing or the noise reduction is if you have underexposed images. So the first thing is to expose correctly. Then it's a lot easier job for the software to do it. Either of the softwares did not do any good to this image. I think it's horrible anyways. And if we look at this image from downtown Helsinki that I took with the Mitacon 17mm f/0.95 lens, you can clearly see that on this one too, DxO Photolab 4 is much, much better. The Topaz DeNoise did not do very good job in the sky, but of course if you make it a bit darker, then it might be a bit better. And then the conclusion. In overall performance, DxO Photolab 4 was better. You probably realized that already. And then there's another thing too. It's a lot faster than Topaz DeNoise AI, because that's the biggest problem with Topaz Lab software, is that some of them or most of them are quite slow. And as I said, there's a small disclaimer. It wasn't really a fair comparison because the Photolab 4 did some other image editing things to the images, so they looked better in that way. But the noise reduction was a lot better with the Photolab 4. And if you're interested in the software, there is a link in the description of this video to both of these softwares. And what if you already have Topaz DeNoise? Do you need DxO Photolab 4? For noise reduction, not really. But if you are in a market of image editing software, I think you should check out the DxO Photolab 4. It's a marvelous software. It is a bit overwhelming when you look at it, but it can do everything. And I think it's worth a try if you're into market. But if you already have something and are really happy, then I wouldn't bother. But hey, thanks for watching, and bye for now.